Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Naaman with the Great Millstone Camp here in DC, back for another video. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rikahakwadash, and of course, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, pushing the truth across the four corners of this earth, of course, aided by the many amounts of videos. All right. That are out there over the airwaves, different social media sites, all right, that aid us in this, all right, and that are available to those who choose to be edified, all right. But this is mainly aimed at those of our people that are the hopeful elect, all right. This is what we do this for, and it's going to be very few. We realize that, all right, because the rest of you, hey, you see this as entertainment, you know, but that's all right. Anyway, this is the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that may otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit and educational personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Fair use, fair use, fair use. All right. So what we have here, like I say, I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. You know, our enemy, our main op on this earth, nation of Edom, the self-professed white people, can never pass up an opportunity to come at Jake. Cold disrespect, questioning their achievements. And in this case, this gentleman that you see, Representative Abe Jones, is a Harvard graduate, which would include the law school. Now, in recent years, we have had a certain demographic that was fooled, or what's another word I want to use? Tricked. Actually, they were lied to, but that's their fault because, again, this I'm going to use their terminology, so-called African American. This is worldwide. They push this against a specific group of dark-skinned people. I want you to understand that. All right. Yes, you get your insults if you're living on a continent of Africa, but even they have a certain amount of hate, and that's orchestrated by this damn devil. We understand that, this self-professed white man. All right, because everybody, when they come here, they pile on to Jake, Southern Kingdom Jake specifically, the so-called African American. And you gotta say, well, what the fuck? Well, like I said, they orchestrate this. This is a means of, and you know, divide and conquer. All right, and because they know that a lot of these people come up, especially from the Caribbean, northern kingdoms, you know, the indigenous so-called peoples of the Americas, to include the United States, the Reubenites, the Seminoles, and the other various so-called Native American tribes here, on down through Argentina. Those are the natives, all right? And I worded it like that for a reason, because you have a lot of, what's the word that they use in certain Latin American so-called countries? Is it mestizos? Those that are descendants, I may have it wrong, but please forgive me. Those are the descendants of the conquistadors, the Europeans, as I call them, the self-professed white people, all right, that came over there and conquered, all right. No, I'm talking about descendants of the people that were there before. Those are Israelites. So they know what they're doing when they pit these people against us, okay? But in this particular video here, we have, oh man, and when you hear this guy speak, you're like, the audacity, the caucasity of this individual to question this man. All right. And, we realize too that this is all out of jealousy and envy. This whole thing is the usurping of our identity as a people by the small hats, more Edomites, all right, so called Europeans, all right, because you got to understand where these people came from. The Khazars, the people of the Caucasus Mountains, that's where they were driven because of their ways. When you research it, all right, they're just a vile, despicable people, and that's Job 30th chapter. But let's go ahead and roll this.
Representative Jones, I want to ask you the question is, I understand that you went into public school and you went to Harvard and Harvard Law. And the question, I guess, is...
Now, you see this individual here, Representative Jeffrey C. McNeely, all right, Republican, District 84, all right.
Would you have been able to maybe achieve this if you were not an athlete?
Ain't no way somebody about to question my intelligence while at the same time putting "the" in the middle of athlete. That man said,
An athlete?
an athlete?
Or a minority? A student trapped in a school that the slowest...
And you got nerve in this meeting to have on red pants, a green tie, and a pink and blue plaid sports coat? That joker popped up like, I don't care how stupid I sound, I'm suited and booted. That way they gonna see me. This joker's fit could have only been inspired by Mr. Brown, because he hopped up on the mic looking like he was finna say, "This is your birthday." The point he was...
But this is just the thing. I mean, these people are being exposed on all levels. All right. And the good thing about this is those that have sided with them for so long, they're seeing this and they're like, maybe we picked the wrong side. Well, hey, it's a little late for that, but there's all kinds of scriptures. We know that the curses per Deuteronomy 30 and 7 are being transferred to our enemies. And what's more, we have other scriptures. Let me get it real quick. Going all the way back to Exodus. God dang it, I didn't even load this. Hold on. Salakia. Baba Kushah, just a few seconds here. Going all the way to Exodus. This was something that was guaranteed, all right, for us if we would only obey. All right. Now let's go to 22. It says conquest of Canaan promised. But you can substitute these Hamites for these Edomites. All right. This is Exodus 23 and 22. It says, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, and this is echoed in Deuteronomy 28, which is where the curses are in that one particular book. It's a lot of them just, concentrated there. But the first 14 verses basically is saying the same. It says, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. So again, as we're seeing as a result, because as I like to always say, there are no redeemable qualities in an Edomite. That's who we're dealing with. That has been our enemy for millennia. And the thing that I'm excited about is seeing in a lot of commentaries you go in nowadays, you're seeing more and more Bible references and, put down as in comments, and they're referencing what what the scriptures say about this self-professed white man. It's now people will realize, hey, this is who we've been dealing with. All right. And, so they got to hurry up. This is why you're seeing them move so fast. And I'm starting to question this constant fixation on the 2020 election. That's over and gone with. Could it be that they're so angry because they missed their mark? I mean, when I mean by missing their mark, I mean these plans, maybe they've been delayed. Well, we know specifically that they have been, but I guess the question is by how much to push this agenda through. And that could have been there, but we all know they're all in it. I'm just, speculating at the end of the day, but you got to know that both parties are in on this. This whole system is wicked and it needs to be torn down, and we see and we know that it is. All right, this man is at the end of the line. Revelation 12:12. This is why you're seeing him in his haste. He's making mistakes that he ordinarily wouldn't have made. All right, so here we go.
Trying to make that land how he thought it would, but Jones' response shook the room.
I'm just going to say one thing. Harvard had 5 rankings for their students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I graduated from Harvard, I was in rank 2. So I earned my place, and I did well.
Now cue the music.
There you go. See, you have to know also that he did that with the intention. All right. Possibly seeing Jake respond in a different way. See, and Jake go off and see he's not fit because that's what they do. All right. Let me get some more scriptures here. That is what they do. Let's go to Psalms. Oh. This is Psalms 25, and 3, and it say, all right, and this is King David. He says, yea, let none that wait on thee be ashamed. Let them be ashamed which transgress without cause. All right, and the thing is, this is just out of jealousy, like I just stated. And let's go to some of the comments because it says they can't stand us. All right, let me go up top. It said they are threatened by, and I hate this, black excellence by definition. That is, because they know they didn't earn anything. All right, that is how you humbly and intelligently shut them up. I agree. The most condescending, disrespectful people ever. Also true. They'll try to come to you and, on a fake humble and, and the scriptures tell you about that. Sirach 12 and 10 through 18, about never trusting them. All right. Audacity must be, or caucasity must be for sale. I said, I know Judge Jones. This fool wasn't fit to ask him a question, let alone that question. Thanks for covering this, bro. All right. Let's see. How dare they question his achievements? I wouldn't have even dignified that question with an answer. All right. That was a mic drop right there by the brother. All right. There you go. Again, they can't stand us. The faces of Ken and Karen in the background said it all. And that's true. Look right up here. They probably expected, again, a different reaction to try to justify their rationale. Oh, I mean, see, as an athlete, I'm unfamiliar with Harvard, well, these Ivy League schools in general, as far as their recruiting, but I don't think athletics is at the very top. All right, and as far as recruiting a lot of Jake. Anyway, just throwing it out there. He got into Harvard Law because of his high test scores, and that's something the one of the so-called model minorities that I said earlier that got tricked into pushing for the end of affirmative action, and now they're in trouble. And I was talking about Moab. Good for them, but that shit really never benefited us like it was maybe thought to have. Because again, another trick. All right, and they for sure had the white woman was the beneficiary of that as well as DEI. So good, shut it down. And now they're suffering because they're figuring out, despite the racist propaganda against us, that it was really them all along with um, welfare and all that other shit. All right. All right. So, yeah, that was it. I said it was going to be short. Again, the audacity, as they said here, for this guy, Wisdom of Solomon 5, about, let's get that real quick. I'll say, this is a thing with here. And we're in this month now with so-called Black History Month. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. All right. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. And we are. Well, we couldn't have done this just a short time ago. All right. Out there on the highways and byways. All right. And made no account of his labors, taking down all our accomplishments. And all it's saying is, that's a reflection on you. And as us being a threat to our accomplishments being a threat to you. And, it's just how small these people really are. All right. It's Obadiah, and all this again is coming out. It's not making us look, the things of the lies that you spread about us. It's just look at what's happening to you now, being exposed. All right. And people are seeing this. You have people that are leaving. Of course, they're not reporting it. But people are leaving this bitch. All right. They see what's about to go down. Some have been gone for like, what? 17 years? 08. Motherfuckers started to leave. All right. So, with that, once again, I hope that's going to do it here. Remember, this website is Big Cam I Am. It says Black excellence still gets questioned. That, what's that, Charlie Kirk? And people are saying now that, as we suspected also, that this motherfucker is not dead, along with, Epstein. But, his crazy antics and, talking about Jake, And the only sad thing about that is he knew who to go to, and they never played when he got his ass handed to him, because Jake said actually knew the stats and not the lies that he was telling, and he got corrected a few times. But anyway, and rightfully so, he got called out and exposed as a liar. But in any case, it's something bigger with that. I don't have time to go in all right here in this video. But hey, I hope whoever views this video has been edified. And hey, it's really cold here in the Northeast from DC on up. So watch yourself and keep your eyes and ears open out here. Be circumspect. So with that, until the next video, shalom.